Hi, David from PDI. This video is all about colour, particularly how colour relates to the printing industry and the printed training manual. What I'm hoping to do is to explain to you the difference between RGB, CMYK, explain what a Pantone means, and Hexachrome as well. Let's start with a bit of physics. The screen that you're looking at now has a series of pixels in it, about 2,000 pixels across and about 1,000 pixels down, and each of those pixels emits light. It emits light in one of three colours: red, green or blue, but only red, green or blue. How do you see the other colours? You see the other colours because your eye combines the colours, adds the colours. So if you want to see a purple colour, what the screen does is emit the red and the blue very close together, and your eye converts it, adds the lights together to create a purple. When you're printing, you're doing something completely different. Now what you have is the ink sits on a white sheet of paper and is flooded with white light. In order to see that purple, what the ink has to do is to remove from the white light all of the colours except the purple. This process, if you like, is a subtractive process. So in summary, you've got a red, green, blue when you're shining a light to add to get the colour you want. Or in printing, you use a CMYK process so that you're removing colour from the white light. You'll have noticed that one has 3 and CMYK 4. Why is that? The reason being, of course, is when you're printing, you start with a colour, white, the paper. In principle, C, M and Y put together would create black, but because you've got white underneath it, to get the real definition, you need to print the 4th colour, black. If we look at the images, therefore, I can show you how to make up a 4-colour image using a red, green and blue combination from light, and underneath the C, M, Y and K. One is adds, the other one is subtractive. So why am I telling you all of this? The reason being is that what happens quite often is that when you look at colour on your screen and then your printer sends you the printed version, they may look slightly different. And the reason for that is fundamentally you're comparing an apple with a pear. One is red, green, blue, the other one is CMYK. Now, they won't always vary, and the variation will be very small, but you can get variant. So how do you stop the variant? Some very clever people in an organisation called Pantone decided to define every single colour in the rainbow. And they did this with what is termed a Pantone book, where they defined every colour in terms of its C, M, Y and K values. What that means is if you've got a particular colour for your logo, the in-house brand colour, if it's defined as a Pantone reference, then whether you're printing it in New York, Sydney, New Delhi or London, every printer in the world will recognise a Pantone reference, and therefore it seals that colour. Just as an aside, you'll also find that some litho printers will print 5 colours. If your brand colour is so specific and it covers a large area of a brochure, in order to maintain that Pantone absolutely dab on, what the printer can do is actually mix the Pantone colour from C, M, Y and K, but actually mix the ink rather than rely on the eye to do the process of combining the colours. That's sometimes referred to as a spot colour. I mentioned Hexachrome as well. Hexachrome was a system invented by Pantone, and the idea there was to add 2 more colours, an orange and a green. And the thought process was that what it would do is define colour and get much better definition and brightness of colour. It's pretty well defunct as far as small format printers are concerned. You might find it in large format printing, where you're printing a poster, particularly for the retail industry, where you're printing pictures of clothing, where colour is absolutely vital. So you might find it in large format, but generally Hexachrome is not a printing technique that you'll come across. Hopefully that was useful. If you have any specific questions about colour, whether it relates to a job that PDI has done or not, then do get in contact. Happy to have a chat and try and solve your colour problems. Thank you.